Let's move on now to some NBA bubble awards. We know that the NBA regular season in the bubble is close to over. I think teams have one or two more games left. So we're going to be giving out some awards here. We got MVPs and best team. So let's start with some MVPs here. Jack, who you got as your bubble MVP?
Well, I have Devin Booker. As Stephen A. Smith would say, he is a bad man. Now, you might think Luka Doncic, but when it comes to MVP, we're not talking about best player. We're talking about the most valuable player. And I don't think there's anyone that's more valuable to their team than the Suns. Because who would have expected the Suns to go into the bubble and be 7-0? He's hit a buzzer beater. He is the sole reason why the Suns are 7-0. Without him, I don't know if the Suns win any games, let alone winning 7 in a row. So that is my pick for MVP. Sammy, let's swing it over to you.
I'm going to have to go a little bit of a similar situation, and a lot of people, or we might say this, I'm not sure, but a lot of people are going to say TJ Warren just because of how unexpected he was, which I'm not going to try and diminish what he did. He came into the bubble and looked like MJ. I mean, it was pretty incredible, but I'm going to have to go with my guy, Damian Lillard. And when you talk about being valuable to a team, Damian Lillard for years has been an absolute stud for the Trailblazers. I mean, let's just look at his past few games. I'm just going to talk about his past four: 61, 51, 22, a little bit of a down day, and 45. I mean, that's half the bubble right there. I mean, I don't have words to say how insane that is. And what he represents for the Trailblazers, he single-handedly, I think, has put them back into that playoff race. And I think for that reason, the Trailblazers are going to end up in the playoffs. We'll see later today or tomorrow how that all ends up. But he's been super clutch. He's come up late in games, really clutch. And, I mean, just those stats alone, 61, 51, and 45 points. Damian Lillard is my bubble MVP.
Yeah, I totally agree. I also have Damian Lillard. I was thinking about TJ Warren, but then I remember Damian Lillard he's the star of this Trailblazers team, and he's put them in the 8th seed that they now have. Yes, they're going to have to play, kind of like a 3-game set or like a 2-game set against the 9 seed, whoever that may be. But he's been incredible. I mean, he single-handedly beat the Sixers when he scored. His down day is 22 points. Are you kidding me? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, unheard of stuff from Damian Lillard. I just want to see him in the playoffs. I want to see playoff Dame, and I want him to just absolutely destroy teams, which I think he will.
If you think bubble Dame is good, playoff Dame.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still going to
be playoff Dame Dalla. I mean, I want to see him in the playoffs so badly.
Oh, my God. I love the guy.
Because it's kind of like The Last Dance taught me that MJ would make stuff up to motivate himself, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that Dame does the same thing. When he missed those free throws, I mean, he came back with 2 50-plus games. And you know what was an interesting stat?
What?
There have been 2 players in NBA history, only 2 in NBA history, to have 3 straight regular season games with 60 or more points. One is Damian Lillard. Can you name the other one?
Wilt Chamberlain.
Bing. Correct. I think it's kind of crazy. You would think James Harden or Steph Curry would have got that by now, but isn't that crazy? I mean, he's in rarefied air.
And Damian Lillard is honestly one of my favorite. I was talking about Luka the other day, but Damian Lillard is one of my favorite NBA players just because of the fact that he is loyal. Mm-hmm. There are no other. I mean, it is hard to think of other NBA players that have really wanted to stay loyal to a city and to a team. Damian Lillard is that guy. He has said time and time again that he wants to stay in Portland and bring the Trailblazers a championship. And that's a guy I have to respect because in the NBA has turned into a league that so many guys are just teaming up and forming these super teams so they could get themselves a championship. But Damian has been a Trailblazer his whole career, and he wants to bring a championship there. And that shows something about a person and something about a player. I love the guy, and he's talented. He's loyal. He's an absolute monster, and I really want to see him in the playoffs because maybe we never know. Maybe we can see him bring a championship to Portland. We'll have to see, but I love Damian Lillard. He's
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I totally love the guy. Hope to see him in the playoffs. Hope he performs well. But let's go into our next award here. We got Best Team in the Bubble. I think we might all have the same team. I think it's kind of obvious, at least for me. I have the Suns. They've gone 7-0. So that's why I have the Suns. I mean, they've been killing it. Jack was talking about Devin Booker and how he's been helping lead that team. And I can't agree with you more there, Jack. So do you guys also have the Suns as your best team?
Yeah, because, I mean, the bubble is obviously a situation where it's good teams. I mean, these are teams that were in playoff contention. So it's not like they're going out and beating, like, the Knicks every day or whatever. Like, they're going out and they beat some really good teams. And I will say a lot of the help has been from Devin Booker, but you can't win games with one guy. I mean, it's been a whole team, thing for them. And they have their last game in the bubble today, which you guys will be seeing this after, so you'll know. But it's at 30 minutes from when we're recording this, so I'm excited to see they're playing the Mavericks. And if they could win that game, they would have gone undefeated in the bubble, and they are in playoff contention still. There are still a lot of chances for a lot of things to happen with that whole eighth seed, tough word pod, eighth seed thing in the Western Conference. But the Suns have been the best team in the bubble without a doubt. I mean, they hadn't lost a game, and maybe they could extend that to 8 and stay undefeated for the entirety of the regular season bubble.
Yeah, I think, just to kind of go into the whole playoff picture a little more, right now the Trailblazers have the 8th seed. They're still going to have to play a series against the 9th seed, whoever that may be. Right now, the Grizzlies and the Suns are now tied for that 9th seed position, both 20 games back from first place. And the Grizzlies, they're playing the Bucks, and the Bucks are obviously the best team in the Eastern Conference, a very, very good team. So if they lose that game and the Suns can beat the Mavericks, they will sneak in to the 9th seed, which will be electric. I mean, watching the Trailblazers and the Suns play for that 8th seed is going to be super exciting.
Well, and it's interesting because the Bucks and the Mavericks are both teams that I'm pretty sure have nothing to play for. I mean, it's really no one really has anything to play for except for the Blazers, the Suns, and the Grizzlies.
Yep.
And it's really it's interesting. I mean, right down to the wire at the end of the season. I'm excited. And next episode on the topic, we're going to have our playoff bracket all set. So we'll be able to do our NBA playoff predictions I have some pretty hot takes I'm excited to share with you guys for that. But now we're going to be moving on to our next part of the show, which is Ori's Amazon product of the day.